Absolutely joyful to be with you today. And we all have rough times. We all have rough things that happen to us. Today, I'm going to talk about some physically rough things that have happened to me. Other episodes, we'll talk about emotional things. But today, I'm going to talk about physical things that happen to us and maybe how we can handle them. So when I was 5, I was pushed down the stairs by my brother. Had a brother that was a little rough with me, and I'm sure it was all in play. I got to the bottom of the stairs and I couldn't stand up, and my mom was, telling me to stand up, and I couldn't stand up. Turned out that that fall had been for a good reason. I had found that I had a cyst in my hip, kind of thigh area, and they had to take some bone from my hip and put it into my thigh area to fix it, and kind of went through a wheelchair and a hospital visit and operation and all those things at age 5. That was pretty young, and it was hard to go through. It was hard to feel like your body's having struggles and you're so young and having to have all these experiences. And then when I was 10, it got a lot worse. So when I was 10, I was in another state visiting my cousins, and I was on a bike I was unfamiliar with, and I went down a very steep hill near their home, and I was going too fast, and I wasn't really familiar with the bike, and I kind of stood up and came down on the brakes, just the kind that are in the pedal, just thinking, I need to stop. This is just going way too fast. So I came down on the brakes so hard that the bike stopped, and I flew over the handlebars and landed on my face. So at age 10, right after getting all my permanent teeth in, I knocked out my teeth. And you can see that I have a scar here that I get to have forever and ever from stitches and wiping out my chin and my face. So rough to have something happen that serious, rough to have it happen in another town, knocked me out. I was in the hospital for a week. And I continued to have dental issues for the rest of my life. So that was really hard. It was really hard to go through all my teenage years with removable teeth, like an old person, dentures, because they couldn't do anything permanent until my face, until my jaw and everything had grown up. Then when I was 18, I was able to have the permanent teeth put in, and that was so nice because then I just had permanent teeth. They said that would last 30 years, and it lasted 35. So a few years ago, I had to have it all redone again. Talk about humbling. Talk about physical things that just constant reminder of a mistake you make and that it affects you for the rest of your life. And that's been very, very humbling. When I think I was about 17, my dad kept bees in the backyard, and he had beehives, and we got to learn how to do the bees and have our bee garb on to protect us, and we got to learn how to extract the honey, and I think all my siblings and I ended up making a movie of it for reports for school, and it was a very great learning experience, but I never got stung. But at age 17, I got stung one day. I wasn't even around the bees. I was actually in the home, and a bee had gotten in our home. And I was stung, and my parents weren't home. I remember my older brother was home, and it hurt so bad. And I got stung kind of in the back of my arm area, underarm area. And I didn't even know that it was a bee. It hurt so bad, and I ran to my brother, and he pulled the stinger out. Well, now I know when you pull a stinger out, you're really supposed to use it kind of like a credit card and push it out so that the pus in the stinger doesn't go into your body. Well, I had a reaction to that bee sting, and my entire body started to itch, and it felt so weird that my instinct was to go have a shower, and I quickly got in the shower and tried to, I guess wash the itchiness off. I don't know. Of course it didn't work. And I got out of the shower, and I remember looking in the mirror, and my face had started to swell. And that was scary because I looked so strange in the mirror. So I quickly got some clothes on, and I ran downstairs to my older brother, and he could tell that I looked strange and something was on, and I had to be taken to the hospital. And Then I had to carry a bee kit with me every day for the rest of my life because I haven't been stung since, and I needed to, they say it gets worse and worse every time you get stung. So it's a good thing I haven't been stung since, but I had to be ready with a bee kit and know how to stay calm, because when you get stung by a bee, the venom can quickly run through your veins, but if you stay calm, it doesn't do that as much. So I share that story with you because that was hard to go through. I can remember having a hard time breathing that night as I went to sleep, and my dad just saying to me, someday one of your children or someone in your life is going to have an experience with this, and you're going to be able to help them because of what you've gone through. And that has stuck with me forever, because told you once before about a trip that I made to Romania with a song and dance group. And a friend of mine on the bus in this group got stung by a bee. She was allergic as well. The two of us were the ones that were allergic to bee stings. Well, there was 2 buses, and the other bus was way beyond us. And the bee kits were on the other bus. And my friend got stung by a bee, and they came to me quickly and said, we hear you know what to do. And I went to the back of the bus, and I laid her down, and we closed her eyes, and we talked calmly. We said, relax and don't respond, just be as calm as you can be. And my friend did not have a reaction. It would have been a very difficult place without our bee kits, not in our country, and she didn't have a reaction. Now, I truly believe that that is because of my experience and my knowledge, and that I was able to help her stay calm through that experience. Now, we all have things that happen to us physically that are very difficult, and we get to deal with them because that's part of life. But there's probably sometimes a reason that we go through these things. We can learn from them, we can better ourselves, and we can help someone else who's going through something similar. I want to keep learning every day of my life. Things are humbling, and I have a sweet daughter on a mission, and she's 20, and she said to me the other day, I'm just realizing that there's something I need to learn. And I was like, yes, she's learned she needs to be humble. That's good. And then she continued and said, and I think I'm going to be learning something every day for the rest of my life. And I thought, here she is 20, and she's already figured that out. That's pretty impressive. So whatever we get to go through in life, let's take a great attitude. I wish that the happiness of being absolutely joyful in your life, and mine too, as we deal with things that are a little bit rough. Thanks for joining me today.